Okay. It says we are live. The button's red. That's good to go. So, welcome everybody to episode 21. 21 episodes now of the XBL Party Podcast. My name is Ash, aka I'm a Ghostbuster, and I am joined, as always, by our awesome group of worldwide friends, as Bob's been sharing on Twitter. So, we have got Fabio here, as always. We've got Alucard, we've got KY Bob, and we've got Slayer Exclusive. The Jinner is celebrating his birthday from early in the week, so he's not joining us this week, but he will be back next week, or the next show, should I say.
Let him have fun at Peppa Pig Awards. Simple as that.
That's it. We wish him many happy times opening his presents at Peppa Pig Land again.
And in the Jenna's part of the world, trust me, on his birthday, he's sloshed right now.
That's funny.
Oh, well, it's the week after E3. It finished this week just gone. We're going to be talking all about what we watched, what we liked, what we didn't like, stuff that's happened afterwards. But let's jump in to stuff we haven't covered in a couple of weeks. What have you all been playing this last week? So we'll start with you, Alucard. What have you been playing?
Well, I'm starting to go back to Resident Evil 2 Remake because I stopped playing it for some reason. I don't know why. I guess when you have a lot of games, you just keep on jumping back and forth. But that's part of my backlog, and I'm having trouble with that game, like trying to figure out like all the different where all the items you have and where they go and the puzzles. I guess I'm not as smart as I used to be. I don't know what the game is. Just it's tough. Like I'm just like I don't know where I'm supposed to go, and I'm being chased by Mr. X, and it's just like it's terrifying. But it's awesome. It's an awesome game. And then I downloaded like a demo from the Game Fest showcase, Skeleton Crew, and that game's really cool. If you like,
Nice.
I think it's roguelike though, which is I'm not really a fan of, but it's hard to say. And then I was playing some. I started playing more Knockout City because I wanted something different, like a different kind of multiplayer experience besides shooters, because everything's a shooter, and it actually is not, I guess, technically, because it's like dodgeball. And then I got Call of Duty Cold War because I wanted to play the campaign, because I wanted to play I miss playing Call of Duty campaigns because it's amazing. It's like playing it in a movie, in a war movie, and I was like, so I had an urge, so I went and bought it. And I bought the cross-gen bundle. It was on sale for like $45. So I was like, that's not bad.
Was it good?
Yeah, I mean, I just started it, and I'm just like, the characters the acting is so good. I mean, this is like blockbuster movie, quality.
It's like a Vietnam movie at the beginning as well, isn't it? When you're in that helicopter flying around that base, and you're just like haggering them with the machine guns. I must admit that bit was amazing in the campaign.
Yeah,
Call of Duty is never short on production values. It's always so
it's just amazing. The characters, and they made it so you actually could talk to people. So they added a little bit of more of a story, I would say, because you can talk to different characters and you can go back and ask them questions. So it's like they added more of like a RPG a little bit to it, not really, but just a little more interactive than just shooting. I think it's really cool. I haven't played Call of Duty for years, so it's like, to me, this is like a big deal. I'm kind of
like it. So did anyone play this game after the beginning of it? Because the beginning is nice, but what about the rest? Is it good?
I've played a few more levels. I never got to the end of it. It was one of those games I bought in like a bulk with a load of other games. But the campaign is really good. The multiplayer is always solid. It's just the same as always. But it's one of those ones I want to go back to. It just takes up too much hard drive space, unfortunately.
It is. It was like 294 gigs. Wow. I was like, holy crap.
Yeah, it's crazy. You need your own hard drive for Call of Duty.
It's insane.
If you've got a Series S, it's crap.
Yeah, I'm
Well,
pumped
you
to
can
see if I get this game. Holy shit!
thing is you could pick and choose what you want to download, so you don't have to download everything. So I downloaded like the base game, the campaign, the ray tracing. There's a ray tracing download, HD download, and then you can download the multiplayer separately, and then you could download the zombie mode separately. So everything's separate. So you can like uninstall and download certain parts. And I want to play the zombie mode because I never played it ever in my entire life. So I'm looking forward to playing that too. So yeah, that's what I'm up to.
Nice. What about you, Fabio? What have you been playing?
So since my work at the college just started back, returned to returned during the beginning of this week, I wasn't able to play almost nothing. I only played Sea of Thieves with you guys yesterday, and yeah, we need to try to play with everyone from the podcast. I don't know why we can never do this. I have no idea what's going on.
It's because we're worldwide, Fabio. We've all got different time zones.
Yeah, 1 o'clock in the morning I went to sleep last night playing just to stay up to play some Sea of Thieves. I was dead this morning, I'm not gonna lie.
Well, we did give you the option to go to sleep, okay? And you decided, oh no, let's continue.
Yeah, we had so much merchant crates.
Oh,
I don't want to
you
give up
missed
like
out on a lot more
so.
after you
It
got
was
on.
just because of
I
the
couldn't
money.
keep
It wasn't
going.
because of the fun, right?
Yeah, I'm just using you as like goods merchants, just sort of like mules.
Okay.
You must see a
Ash
Thieves
just
mules.
stands on the boat and just you know is a lookout pretty much.
I wasn't very well last night.
Okay.
I kept disappearing. I wasn't very well. I was like running off to like not be sick, so I did keep disappearing. But yeah, most of the time I take Sea of Thieves with about as much seriousness as can be done. I'll stand on the boat. I'll play music at inappropriate times. I'll shoot at things we don't want to shoot at. I'll shoot your monkeys out just because I can. Yeah, they've got an explosive barrel. I'll shoot it when you stood next to it. I don't care. It's just fun.
Ash is the type of guy. Ash is the type of guy who everybody else is trying to stop the boat from sinking. He's already moved to the bow. He's up there playing his accordion.
Yeah, the slow sled song.
Here we go.
So like Ash is a motherfucker in Celtics because he is standing at the deck. Okay. And then he tells us there's a rock in front of us. Drop the anchor or turn the boat. And he's standing still there like drop the anchor.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the lookout. It's not my job to turn the boat. You're still at the wheel. Turn the boat.
Nobody was on the wheel. God damn it!
It's not like raising the anchor. When you raise the anchor, that takes time. To drop the anchor, you just gotta run over and hit it and move. It drops itself.
Yeah, well, I was there in spirit. What do you want?
He just stands on the edge of the boat and says, "We're about to crash. Someone drop the anchor," instead of just running around, turning around and dropping it himself.
I think that we all should get. I don't know if you guys drink, but like we all should get totally wasted and play it for real.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
And see how bad it gets. Then
these guys don't follow my philosophy of let's just Roger everyone just for shits and giggles. Even though I hate people that do that in Sea of Thieves. When I'm playing it, we're just trundling along. We've got a ship full of crates and treasure chests. And I'm like, let's go, let's fight. And they're like, no, let's not do that. And I'm like, let's do it.
You did miss something because yesterday Slayer and we had some PvP there.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
I still want to kill a Kraken. I want to take on a Kraken. We've not done it. The only time I've ever had a Kraken in game was when we played with Alucard, and we sacrificed you so we could get rid of all the treasure chests while the Kraken killed you.
It was fun. I was like, I want to fight more Krakens. I'm like, they should have like a Kraken horde or something, where you just try to fight as many as you can.
Well, they have shown a Kraken or some sort of sea Kraken-y type monster in the new DLC. We'll talk about that in a bit as well, which looks awesome.
Schedule. Let's just spoil everything.
What about you, Bob? What have you been playing then?
Open Country came out. And I've been playing Open Country. It's a little rough around the edges, but if you like survival games, it's really good. It's a little, like I said, it's rough around the edges when it comes to resolution, but It's a great survival game.
Open country.
It's only $14.99 US.
I've got Green Hell, that's a brand new survival game. Where does it take place in?
It takes place in the wilds of like open country, and I don't know where it is. I think it's in the US somewhere. But you're a guy who is living the office life, the daily grind in a city, and you start remembering the times when you were a kid running around in the woods and whatnot. And so you quit your job and you get a camper and you go out into the open country, out into the wilds, and you meet up with a couple of guys who kind of take your hand and say, hey, I'm a park ranger and I need some things done around here. Can you do them for me? And a lot of it is like you got to go out and herd populate, and you got to control herd population, and you got to kill some elk that are getting overrun. And the whole time you're out there, you're trekking across vast distances in order to get to the animal that you need to take care of, or to the place that you need to survey. So you're constantly having to build camps and hunt for food and come back and cook it and find moving water so that you can refill your canteen so that you don't die of thirst and you get rest. And I mean, it is a great survival game, but graphically it is kind of rough around the edges. I think it's only like 1080p. So and then the Gina got me back into Outriders. And so I was because I stopped midway through the story when I found out that you couldn't progress your world level in the end game, so your world tier level. And so I stopped midway through and decided that I was going to max out my world tier level before I moved on through the game. So I maxed that out. Well, unfortunately, maxing that out kind of burnt me out a little bit. So now I've had a break, and now I'm back into it, and I'm enjoying it, and I'm actually going through the story. And the story, I think the story is really good. The story in Outriders is what the story that wasn't there in Anthem should have been. And I've been playing Master Chief Collection. I've been playing Wreckfest. I've been playing Zombie Army 4 because I finished the campaign. I'm going through the extra DLCs now, which there are 6 standalone stories after you finish the main game, and they're still adding.
Yes.
Let's see, and that's about it. And rewatching E3 and picking all those tidbits apart.
Nice.
What about you then, Slayer?
Actually, holy shit.
So for me, I didn't play too much of a variety this week because I was trying to mostly finish up my Sea of Thieves season pass. So, I think I'm like 10 levels away now, and there's only like 4 days left, so I have a little bit more work to do. But yeah, yesterday's session was a lot of fun. Like Fabio was saying, we, and like I said earlier, like after you left, we did a lot more. Like we got a lot of we did like a cargo run for the level 5 Merchant Alliance thing, and
cargo runs, actually.
Yeah, 2 cargo runs, and each of them actually not that far. It was like one of them was literally like the next island over, and for each of them we got about like over 20,000 gold, so we got like about 50,000 extra gold, which was nice.
Nice.
And then played a couple indie games. Played a little bit more Biomutant, as you can see on the screen right now.
Currently on screen, yep.
Yep. And and then played like a couple indie games. One of the ones that that stands out to me that you actually joined me for a little bit in the beginning. I don't know if you've got a chance to play it yet, but it was called Oniros, I think it's pronounced. But it's a pretty cool like 2-hour like adventure game where you just walk around, you interact with items and do puzzles, stuff like that. It has like a little bit of a interesting story, and definitely anyone should definitely check that out if they like those kinds of games. That's pretty much it.
Nice. Oh yeah, I haven't actually had time to play that yet. It's on my list to pick up. You've seen me trying to clear through my backlog this month. So this week I haven't played anything major. I played through Observation the day before it left Game Pass. I'll put a video up of it on the screen next, or later in the show. It's like you play as a space station sort of computer system, AI, and you don't really do a lot. You sort of go between rooms through the cameras and stuff, and you have to open doors and stuff like that, and get all the systems working while it's like a sort of horror story sort of going on, sort of a weird space sci-fi story. It's a good sort of 6 hours. Actually, really, really interesting. I really enjoyed it. So if you haven't played it, it has unfortunately left Game Pass now, but you can pick it up on the store still. So I highly recommend that. Other than that, I've been playing through some of the smaller games, and I've just started working through the Adventure Time Finn and Jake investigations, because I've had it on disc for ages and ages. So I finally started that, and it's not too bad. And then quick games I've finished, sort of Transference from Ubisoft. That's on sale at the moment. That's a pretty good game, where it's sort of like multiple dimensions in this one apartment block. That's what it came across as, and there's like the kids being attacked by some like digital monster sort of thing. It's really like mind warping and stuff like that. But when you change something in one sort of universe or dimension, it changes it in the other one as well. So you end up going in between them to find things to then take to the correct one to then sort of progress the story and sort of. I don't know if it's like, it felt like it was like a digital. Sort of like digitized apartment. So when I say universe, I don't think you're actually in different universes. It was all like a computer program as such, but it's that sort of style. I played through Distraint, which is a weird little indie game, where you play like someone who's kicking people out of their houses, and then he feels really bad about it, and he sort of repents, and at the end shoots himself in the face. And you're like, oh right, well that escalated quickly, and it's a weird, creepy sort of 2D game with like gruesome sort of graphics and stuff. It's quite fun. I played Sea of Thieves with you guys. I've played a couple of games for reviews that I'll be putting up in the next couple of days, and then today I've been playing Wheel of Fortune with the missus for a few hours, which surprisingly wasn't that bad. So if you like quiz games, it was currently on sale at like 60% off. So I was like, you know what, I keep buying quiz games when I can get them, and it's not the UK version unfortunately, but it's fun enough. So
is that game can that game be considered as a game capable of breaking up friendships and relationships?
No, it's not that bad. It's a pretty
just like Mario Party.
No, it's a bit more boring than that. It's a bit more sort of dry. And to be fair, it's all right. I like how it comes up when you start. It's like, this is America's game show. And it's like, we've got it on in England, and it's not anything like this. So it's not really America's game show. Don't you lie to us. But yeah, I've been playing that, and then obviously with E3 this week, I've been playing a few preview games. So I was playing Life Slide, which is you play as a paper aeroplane, and it's basically trying to go as far as possible before you crash, and that was really fun. It's coming to PC soon. It's already been out on like mobile and stuff like that, but they were nice enough to send a copy for me to have a play on. And the only other game I've played is B.Ark, B.Ark, which is a shmup, an amazing shmup. I had an interview with the developers last night, which I'll talk about soon, and yeah, that looks absolutely fantastic. It's really fun to play. And you know I like my shmups recently. I've been playing loads of them. So any new shmup, especially one that'll hopefully come to Xbox in the future, it's definitely got my attention. The developers were awesome. I had a really good time with the showcase.
Did you ask that for them?
No.
Is it coming to Xbox?
Yeah, I did ask if it was coming to Xbox. Like I say, I will discuss that, the whole thing in brief, what they said, when we get to that point. But yeah, it was
okay.
really, really cool, and I highly recommend it. And it's out next month, so I've already got my eye on it. So yes, I love a good shmup. But other than that, like I say, I haven't really focused on major games other than Sea of Thieves with you guys and the Adventure Time game. The rest of them have been sort of quick, sort of couple of hours just to fill a bit of time in between stuff. So, unfortunately.
We still have a Halo 2 Legendary campaign to
Yes.
and to have a lot of headache with all the bullshit that game.
Yeah. Oh man. Let's not
Like
even
that
get into that.
yeah, like I think it's amazing how the fuck did Bungie fuck up so much with that game. I mean, in terms of difficulty, the campaign is awesome, the story is awesome, the gameplay is awesome, but the legendary
I don't
difficulty
think the
is just
difficult is
atrocious.
difficult. It's just in Halo 2, when one of yous die, it resets. Whereas in every other Halo, 1, 3, 4, etc., when one of you dies in co-op, as long as the other player doesn't die and gets out of combat, you other player respawns. Whereas in Halo 2, as soon as one of you dies, you're back to checkpoint, and it's just so long-winded. It just takes the fun out of it.
But it's just because you still haven't hit the sniper jackals, okay?
Yeah.
Wait for that.
Yeah.
And you will suffer, okay? Don't you come to here to tell me that the biggest problem is the co-op, okay?
Oh, I'm not looking forward to that, I must admit. No, not at all. But we'll get there. We'll get there eventually. We'll probably stream it, me squaring down the mic at it. So, speaking of Halo, Green Pass Gaming got in touch with me the other day about our rematch. So we need all of you on hands on deck to try and bring someone back to the podcast after me and Fabio got absolutely spanked in the Halo tournament a few months back. So we haven't got a set date yet, but we're working on it.
I gotta say, Bob and Slayer are the two people that they need to be at the team.
Yes.
Slayer is good at Call of Duty and with multiplayer games like that, and Bob is just addicted to Halo. So yeah.
We were not here last time. The outcome will be different.
I hope so. And we're going to use some bloody battle rifles. We're not having whatever shit weapons we got stuck on. We're playing on Halo 2 and 3 maps as well. We're playing with battle rifles at spawn. That's it. I've trained on battle rifles at spawn. We're playing battle rifles at spawn on some decent maps.
The match is ours. The rules will be ours. So yeah, that's it.
It's not. We're not rolling any dice in our own favor there at all.
The main rule is we cannot lose. So Green Pass Gaming, you cannot win. Simple, you know the rules.
Do you know what? If we lose, we'll beat them at Shotgun Farmers. That's it. We'll have to take them on at that. Yeah, it's fine. One game we will win. Option. And if we do lose, it's all Bob's fault, clearly, because he's supposed to carry us this time. So.
I don't know. Like, it's weird because I don't know if like what multiplayer game I'm actually really good at. Like, I never really got tested, against like, I don't know.
They have a test.
I can't really say. I don't really. Because I really played Halo 5 and I played some Master Chief, and I just got murdered like so much. So I don't know.
You're just like Fabio then.
I don't think I'm any good at it.
Not like, yeah, during the beginning it's like that, but if you continue to play it, you will be getting better. Like I've been able to get better with the time, but not at the point to say that I am addicted. I love playing Halo multiplayer, but not to the point to say that I'm really good. I'm okay, but yeah. That's it.
I think it's all multiplayer games that have sniper rifles that piss me off. And I'm so sick of sniper rifles, man.
The sniper in Halo is I don't particularly care for the sniper in Halo. You don't need it when you've got a battle rifle. So
yeah.
That's sniper rifle.
Or when you play Halo 1 and you only use the pistol. The pistol that's more powerful.
The sniper rifle comes in handy when you're trying to snipe spawn points from across the map. Anything else, battle rifle is where it's at.
Yeah. And some of the maps on Halo, the sniper's just no use. It's more useful just battle rifling it up or close combat in it. So
not every map's like Blood Gulch.
We need to play like a proper Blood Gulch map one day, like loads of players. Yeah, we'll have to put the call out one night and see if we can get a load of people.
I was about to say anything less than 6 people, and most of the time you're just looking for people.
Yeah. Were you there on the practice night, Bob, before that tournament? They had like a community game night practice the night before. There was like
Mr. Tushy.
Yeah, with Mr. Tushy. And the night before, there was I think at that point there were 6 of us at the end of it, and they put this map on Halo 1. Jeez, it takes about 10 minutes to drive across it on a Warthog. I don't know what it was. It was massive.
Jeez.
And you'd see someone, and you'd either kill them or die, and then it was like another 5 minutes before you saw someone. I was like, maybe not play this map again. But I can't remember what it was called. In the middle, it had like trenches and like walkways up really high up, so you could snipe, and then there was like little bases either side. But you had to drive around.
Okay, I know what you mean.
I can't remember what it's called.
I like that map.
Yeah, but not with 6 players. Not with only 3 on a team. That's the point.
I think it's funny. A lot of people in that space, like really crazy stuff.
Oh, so we've discussed what we've been playing this week. We'll crack on. I'll quickly go over the interview I had with TikTok Games developers yesterday, before we jump into the sort of main E3 and Xbox Extended Showcase goodness. So
before that,
yes.
Before that, just wanted to ask you: is this episode being sponsored by them?
No, I wish it was.
Then you're not gonna talk shit, okay? Let's go to the next point. And that's it.
No. Do you know what? I always love to promote indie games, especially indie games where the developers actually are interested in talking to us, because we're not the biggest podcast, but we were lucky enough to get media access at E3, and a lot of publishers didn't bother replying. I'm not going to lie. I messaged quite a lot, and a lot didn't respond to my request for interviews. These guys did, and they were awesome. This is a 2D shmup. It's a very cartoony art style, and basically your dog's in spaceships shooting monsters and aliens and stuff. So I'll not cover it too much because I'm going to cover it in a full video, but I just wanted to just show it off quickly on the podcast for anyone who is watching, just to let you know we will do like a full cover of this soon. But yeah, I mean, this is a shmup that's built around co-op, so you can have up to 4 players at once. Every character has special abilities, and they can work together. So, like, one of the characters has got like a shield that can go around the others, and you can sort of Voltron them together, so you can like combine your specials at the same time. So there's like slowdown abilities, special rocket abilities, and stuff like that. And I just love the fusion idea of it. And one thing they did mention was, obviously they're like big fans of like Gradius and stuff like that, but they did say this game they spent a lot of time getting it right. So, do you know, with shmups, after like 2 levels, it becomes insane. This has a more sort of ease of intra sort of difficulty curve. So you're not going to suddenly be. It's not going to be super difficult straight out the gate. It's aimed to be accessible to everyone. There are harder difficulties and stuff like that if you want that, but if you just play it on standard, it's a really cool and sort of, I wouldn't say chill, it does get quite mad. I mean, they showed me a level on Saturn where there's like a fucking, you know, those fish in the, like off of Finding Nemo with the glow light on its mouth in the dark. That's one of the bosses, basically.
Anglerfish.
Yeah, basically like a giant space anglerfish that disappears apart from its little red light, and then it pops up and tries to get you.
Cool.
It's ace, and there's like space giant robot starfish and stuff like that. It's just madness. Honestly, the characters look ace. They've sort of based the look on like Saturday morning cartoons, and I really like that. But yeah, the release date, they told me yesterday, it's coming July 29th on Steam and on Nintendo Switch. There's currently a demo on Steam, which is what I'm showing here. However, I was playing it on keyboard, so I am rubbish in this video, but it's because I'm using keyboard instead of a controller. My bad. And I did ask them if it was coming to Xbox, because they've made other Xbox games. I think they made Adventures of Pip. They make non-Xbox games like Funko Pop Blitz on the mobile and stuff like that. So they've made quite a few games. And I said, is it coming to Xbox? And they've basically said they're getting the Switch port and the Steam port out. And once that's launched and it's all good and everyone's happy, then they can look into other platforms. And like they said they've had a great experiences with the guy from Idea Xbox in the past. So that's basically, I took that as we'll probably start looking at that once the game's done on the platforms already announced. So,
Fair enough.
and they did say they'd fire us a demo, like not a demo, a review code over at launch. So I'll do a full
all
review
the
of
6
it.
of us.
Well,
For
I'll
all
try
the
and
6 of
blag
us.
that. I'll try and blag a couple of copies so we can play 4-player co-op.
Instead of sponsoring the video, you can sponsor by giving us free copies. What
Yeah,
about that?
I'd love to play it, but
Yeah.
I'm going to pick it up on
I'm down
Switch
with that.
as well because like you can use both the Joy-Cons as separate controllers. So straight out the bat, you've got like 2 players there, which is great. But I know it's not Xbox, so I apologize to anyone listening. That's like, this isn't on Xbox right now. I apologize, but this is such a cool little game. They seem really into it. They seem to be really interested in the shmup genre and making sure it is an awesome game that you should definitely check it out. It's B.Ark, and they are TikTok games, and you can find them on Twitter. And there's loads of videos with a soundtrack, demos, and stuff like that as well. So that's my unpaid for sponsored plug.
Sucker.
So no,
Just kidding.
I like to promote stuff. If they want to pay me to promote it, I would. I'm not gonna lie. Hey,
For anybody else out there who wants free props, get a hold of Ash.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. I'm happy to cover
We need to-
anything.
we-
So
Like we need more sponsorships besides Toys for Bob. Goddammit.
yeah, and
So-
KY Jelly. KFC still haven't rang in yet. I keep waiting. Still no KFC answers. No, God damn it. So we'll move on. We'll move on to sort of the main bulk of E3. So we obviously we covered the Xbox and Bethesda showcase in detail last week. We literally rewatched it as we went and we discussed it. So if you want a full in-depth sort of look and our thoughts on the Bethesda and Xbox showcase from last week, check out last week's podcast episode because we're not going to cover all of it again. But this week we're going to talk about the whole of E3.
But here's the thing. We did have a bit of miscommunication because Bob wasn't there, and it was because of this fucking communication. So he wasn't able to give his opinion about the event. So Bob, please share with us what did you think about the whole Xbox game showcase that we had.
Okay. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, Forza Horizon 5, and Halo Infinite multiplayer left. I still haven't found my jaw that hit the ground after that showcase. Wow.
It was such a good showcase, wasn't it?
Those were the best looking games. We are seriously talking next gen now, and we were given what we asked for. Were there some disappointments? Yeah, I mean there was no Fable. We didn't get to see Crossfire X. We saw the same video for Perfect Dark that we saw before, but
Backwards compatibility.
I mean we couldn't. They gotta save some stuff for XO. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
But as far as E3, the only E3 that even comes close to as great as this past E3 was 2017 when we got to look at the Project Scorpio.
Now,
and that was Go ahead.
Do you mean Xbox E3 show, not just E3 in general?
Yes, Xbox E3 show.
Mm-hmm.
And in 2017, come on, we got to see a new console that there's not a new good console, not like 2013 when we got to see the Xbox One and everybody found out they had to buy a Kinect. Not that kind of console reveal, but an actual good console.
Yeah.
That's the only reason that even comes close. Other than that, I'd probably say it's if not the best E3 show Xbox has ever done.
Yeah. And it had a really good pace as well, didn't it? I think that really helped it.
Yes.
They started really strong on that showcase.
And and there wasn't a whole lot of talking. People that came out and talked, They got to the point, and it was boom, right on to more games. I mean, you didn't even see Phil Spencer until the very end, and even that was short, sweet, straight to the point. This is what we've given you. We promised we were going to give it to you. Enjoy.
Yep.
Yeah. Really well done. Really well done.
Yes.
What score would you give it to it? In from 1 to 10, how would you score it?
9.5.
Ooh.
9.5.
Wow.
Okay, because
I give it a 9.5 out of 10, and that half a point is only because it didn't give us everything that we wanted to see. You know, if it had been a 2-hour long show and we saw everything we could possibly see, then I'd give it a 10. But like I said, they gotta leave some bait on that hook. They just can't show it all.
Yeah.
Okay, so the updated overall score of the Xbox Live Party podcast for the Xbox Game Showcase is probably something like a 9, because when we finished to talk about our scores, we ended up with 8.4, 8.5, something like that.
Yeah, I think it was 8.4 in the end. So overall, I think that's pushing it up to about a 9 overall, which is fair. Like I say, I mean,
yeah,
I only went to 8.5 because of a few issues that weren't anything major, but they were worth at least mentioning. Do you know what I mean? In what I was looking forward to, but it was such a good show. And then Microsoft offered us up an extended look this week as well, which we'll talk about later. So we've been spoiled. Absolutely spoiled.
I just want to say one more thing. With Xbox, Xbox has all these studios, and they're really starting to show their synergy between the studios. Like, what was it? Sea of Thieves, 3 years ago came out and was using the water effects from somebody else. I can't remember exactly who it was, but they were using the water effects. And now you see Forza 5 is carrying over the photogrammetry that has been so well shown by Flight Sim.
Yeah.
And it's just it looks so lifelike because it is lifelike. We're talking about real life photogrammetry, either on the ground or from the sky above. And they're even using photogrammetry in the upcoming Hellblade 2 of Iceland, and it it looks amazing. We are going to be blown away by the landscapes of these games coming up.
Oh yeah, it looks
Hellblade
fantastic.
2 is gonna be Hellblade 2 is gonna be like a huge. I think it's gonna be a much bigger game. It's gonna be a major psychological horror. It's gonna be intense. It's gonna be like violent and bloody, and it's gonna be everything, like a horror action RPG, or I don't know, man. It's gonna be nuts.
Not necessarily an RPG, in my opinion. I don't
More
think
action,
they do an RPG, but yeah, with some elements of it, I'm down with it.
Hopefully you can get different weapons and customize, get better gear, because you couldn't do that in the first game. So
yeah,
it is nice to see though Xbox getting its stride. I mean, have you seen that advert that they've been putting out this week? It's like 6 great games in the next 6 months on Game Pass, and it's like all like Xbox first party games in the next 6 months. It's such a good advert. Yeah, and it's like they needed to do that sooner, unfortunately. But it's
one of them is Back 4 Blood.
Yeah, but
it's not less of amazing, because holy shit.
Yeah, Back 4 Blood is awesome.
Yes.
Yep.
I'm not saying that is a bad thing. I'm just saying that it's not a first party game.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
But that's what I mean though. It's like here's 6 big massive games. We're spoiled. I'm already struggling to play all the games I've got. And I watched that E3 presentation, and then they showed that graphic later on where it's like, this is coming to Game Pass in 2021. I'm like, fuck my life. I am never gonna get through any of this. I
know.
I want to start playing Dragon Quest 11 again, and I'm like, I'm never gonna get into it, because by the time I finally get to play it, Dungeons and Dragons is out this week. And then something else is out, and then Psychonauts out, then Flight Sim's out as well. I'm like, oh my god, there's gonna be no time. And I've got like 300 hours in Forza Horizon 4. So when Forza Horizon 5 comes out, I'm gonna have even less time in my life. Do you know what I mean? It's just immense. It's such a good time for gaming across all the boards. I mean, There was some great announcements across E3. A lot of dog. We'll talk about it in a second, but there was some great announcements for all systems, consoles, new consoles announced, all that sort of stuff. So it was a good E3 in sense of what we're getting for gamers, but the overall feeling from E3 was it wasn't a good show overall, and there were sort of like two showcases that sort of carried the entire thing. And I agree with that. In my opinion, the Xbox One was the best. Nintendo came in second with some great announcements. My only concerns of that was there was a lot of like 2-year-old ports and more Mario Party and Mario Golf, and for me that doesn't interest me. And a lot of multiplats, but the rest of them, there was a large amount of tripe. And I mean, I've been at it on Twitter today. I put a post up. I saw someone saying someone had shared a picture from like a couple of websites where they said this was the worst E3 ever, and it's a relic and it doesn't need to happen anymore. And they're like, this is just Sony fanboy bias. And I'm like, well, no, apart from 2 conferences, the rest were pretty crap. There were some highlights, but overall, E3 to me was like a C. And I got jumped on by loads of Xbox fanboys like crazy, and they're like, yeah, but you don't need, it will be this, blah, 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 blah. And it's an A, it's a 10 out of 10. I'm like, what, are you on about the Xbox Showcase, or are we on about the whole of E3 like I'm on about right now, and this article's on about? Yes, the Xbox Showcase was awesome, well done, but that doesn't mean that like the Capcom, the Take-Two, the Devolver was too long, the Square Enix, do you know what I mean? There was so much tripe, it brings it down, and I got absolutely attacked by people, and they were trying to make me out like I was a Sony fanboy because I was trying to say that no, E3 was just bad. And someone who was in media and had access to the media portal and the media Discord and that will agree it was terrible. From behind the scenes was awful as well. It was so rushed, and it was like a high school college kid had quickly coded the website together 10 minutes before it started. It was easier to watch it on YouTube than it was to watch it through the media portal, which shouldn't happen in my opinion either.
I have a perspective about that too. Well, if you think about it, the big 3, Sony, Xbox, and Nintendo, they already had to do a virtual E3 presence last year. So they saw what people liked, they saw what people didn't like, and they fixed it this year. A lot of the smaller showcases, like Ubisoft and some of the other ones, they didn't really have a virtual presence last year. So this was their learning experience, and I think they were just going off of recommendations from the big 3, and they didn't adjust to them appropriately.
Yeah, they were terrible. I mean, I'm not saying the shows were badly run in some aspects. Like the Ubisoft one was a good show. It just didn't show anything new. It was just literally like an extended advert for all of their existing games. And I just think they needed to do more. I just think a lot of people didn't go in with any sort of interest into E3. A lot of these publishers, I mean, clearly Microsoft was like, we are here, look at us now, and it's played out fantastic for them. Nintendo went in and did exactly what they always do. They did a direct that was no different to any other direct, and the Nintendo fans have rejoiced from the high heavens because they showed some Breath of the Wild 2 footage at the end. Do you know what I mean? And a new Metroid. And the rest of it, they sort of ignore the rest of it. The fact that it wasn't that great a show, but it had 2 big reveals, and they're super happy about that. And fair play. It wasn't the worst show. But when you look at stuff like Capcom, who showed off a text image saying, we are working on Resident Evil Village DLC, it is coming, and then showed off a trailer or an extended gameplay of one game, and that was it. Take-Two didn't even show any games off. I saw so many people in the Discord and on the chat live like, oh, they're going to show Grand Theft Auto, and I'm like, they're not. And then it was like an hour-long corporate like diversity and sort of safety in the workplace and the industry presentation, which is great that they've done that. I'm not knocking the presentation, but it didn't seem like it should have been on the main E3 show. It should have been like afterwards. And it was so odd.
Agree.
Ubisoft didn't show
sound
much.
like an E3 show.
No, it was weird
Like-
as
like
hell. It was literally like us on the screen here, like on a Zoom call, chatting about equality and diversity and stuff like that.
What?
It was so weird. I didn't watch it to the end, but people went in expecting
like
something to do with games and they got nothing.
Sounds like a
How's that
GDC
a,
kind of thing or something like that, you know, like a Dice Awards
how-
or something.
Yeah, how is that like showcasing your entertainment? That's what E3 is about, right? It's like entertainment. Like, yeah.
Yeah,
Expo.
like I do have some
Uh-huh.
thoughts about that, because here's the thing. Like Sony wasn't going to do nothing on E3. Okay, they decided to not do any showcases. They didn't show up for E3. And no, it doesn't mean that Sony is bigger than E3. No company is going to be bigger than the biggest gaming events of the year. That's a fact. Doesn't matter if you like state of play or if you don't like state of play. Fuck it. But like, they did right, because here's the thing: if you don't have nothing to show,
Don't show it.
don't do a conference at all.
Yeah.
Simple as that. Sony did what they had to do. Like what they had, they only had Horizon Forbidden West gameplay, and it was great.
No,
They
no.
made a whole show only for that. They had nothing else prepared, nothing else ready for that. They probably will have something ready for the end of the year or later.
They did have
Something
one
like that.
announcement, though. They did do it at the Summer Game Fest, which is kind of E3, but isn't E3. but
it's like it is.
it was a
nice that
terrible
they are making
video.
they are making a partnership with a studio, right? That we had.
Oh yeah,
That's nice,
they had the
that's great.
random. This is a studio we're working with. We haven't got a game to announce, but we're just saying we're working
like-
with Sony.
Yeah, and here's the thing: they did right, in my opinion, because if you don't have nothing to show, don't make a conference about that. I'm sorry, like what?
They do
What
have a
is
lot to show,
Ubisoft
but they
doing?
don't really want to do a show about how all their games are now coming to PS4 as well. I mean, that probably won't go
Yeah,
down
Yeah.
well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But I
here's
agree
the
with you in
thing,
that sense.
but
If
here's the- if
these
you don't
these
have big
companies just don't
guns
do it,
to show, if you don't have any big guns ready to be shown on a conference, don't show. Like, what was Ubisoft's conference? The biggest highlights was the fucking Rainbow Six Siege DLC.
for
What?
me though, they did at least announce Assassin's Creed Valhalla was getting a second year DLC update, which they'd never do. But you could have put that out in a tweet. Do you know what I mean? There was nothing really new shown.
Yeah, like I'm
And-
sorry, it was just about DLCs. It wasn't about games.
Yeah, I sat through. I must admit, I sat through probably about 8/10 of all of the E3 conferences because I thought we've got media present. I'm going to watch them. I'll cover them, and we'll see what we can do. But some of them, it wasn't even the people that were writing stuff like that have like a written publication were struggling because of how bad it was. Big shout out to Fun Speculation who's popped up in chat, and we also had a Caitlin earlier saying hi to KY Bob. Nice to see us all. If you are watching, just click the like button because the more likes we get for some reason means more people see the show, which is always a strange YouTube algorithm thing. I don't want to beg, but if you're enjoying it and you're enjoying listening along, just click like or give us a share on Twitter or Facebook or something like that so people know that we do exist.
we are not begging, but we are begging.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
But we're just really grateful for all you guys that come in and watch.
We beg.
We
We
bribe.
don't need a bag. We're big.
We're E3 media approved.
We are one of the podcasts, if not the podcast with the most diverse cast. That's it. From all around the world, 3 countries. Simple as that.
And also the most
4
well-known to
technically
go off
because
topic.
Jinna's in from Wales and I'm from England.
Yeah.
So
Most well known to go off topic.
that's
But
it.
big time.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
We're
We're
just
nearly an hour in and we're
one
up to
Japanese
topic
guy.
2. What do you mean? We're doing well. But
For
so
once.
what were your guys' highlights then? not say from Microsoft, but from the other companies and the other showcases. If you watch them, what were your sort of highlights? We'll start with you, Fabio. What were you out of everything that you actually managed to watch at E3 or you've read about? What was your sort of favorite sort of things you've seen?
Like for what I seen, in my opinion, the best highlights were in my opinion, from an overall perspective, were Riders Republic. I have interest in that. I liked how the style, I liked the gameplay, I liked how crazy the game can be. We just need to have all the podcasts and other podcasts to join us to play. I would love to do something like that, with some crazy shit with everyone. That would be awesome. I I am like complaining about only DLCs and on the Ubisoft showcase, but I find it interesting, the Alien expansion on Rainbow Six Siege. I found it nice. I liked the overall details that they talked about how it was going to work, some gameplay there. I liked that.
Just to let you know though, that is actually a new game. That's not Siege.
Yeah,
that's
A full new,
that's the
game.
new Rainbow Six.
Yeah.
It's just about aliens. It looks like
Right,
Siege,
awesome.
but it's got aliens instead.
It just,
I mean, they
for some reason, reminded me of Rainbow Six Siege, but a DLC for some reason. God damn it. Okay, way better than I expected.
yeah.
And
I think it's gonna be cool.
the Breath of the Wild sequel, and also Elden Ring, but
That's not E3.
that showcase. Yeah, but like that showcase was just so boring that I wasn't that excited for Elden Ring. But yeah,
You
I
didn't
think
enjoy
it's
Elden Ring. You
understandable.
just enjoyed Jeff Keighley coming in his pants announcing Elden Ring. He was like,
What
ah.
the?
He literally
What
looked
the?
like after he
Oh, man.
announced Elden Ring, he looked like Randy Marsh in that South Park episode where they lose the internet, and he finally gets on the internet and he fucking says it's a ghost and he's covered in ectoplasm because he's that covered in cum. That's how Jeff Keighley looked
Jesus.
after announcing
Good to
Elden
see.
Ring.
Good to see we are not going to be sponsored
Oh.
ever by
Yo.
Game Summer Game Pass. You
Nobody.
just fucked us up.
I tagged him in that on
No.
Twitter. I commented on one of
Like
his
a-
posts and tagged him in a picture of that and said, "This is what you look like," and he didn't reply.
Oh my god.
Like this podcast is being sponsored by South Park. What the fuck are you doing?
I would be
Yeah.
happy with that. Fun speculation in the chat has said
Oh, man.
this new game is based on a limited time event from Siege, so it's already happened in Siege, sort of. And it was so popular they expanded it into its own game. But he said he's surprised, honestly, that it is a full price game, and it would have been better served as like a $40 type. And I agree.
Sounds dope. I think it sounds awesome because like your operator can get kidnapped, and then you have to get. I guess you can go save them or something. But that
sounds like Dead by Daylight.
And that operator is like, say if it's one of your characters that you've created. That operator stays gone until somebody rescues them.
That's pretty cool.
It's a cool idea, but I don't.
That is it.
So, are you going to be like begging people, like, please save my character? Like,
I can see the tweets right now. Please save me now.
Save me. That's a pretty cool dynamic, though, because you're talking like if you want to be immersed. That can get you really immersed in the game, though. You know, it makes you not want to leave the game because you want to go save this character that you've been working on. You know, so you're gonna be like, I gotta play this again. You know, like I don't know.
Is it permadeath? Is it permadeath? Stuff like that.
I don't know.
It should have been like 30. Should have been like $30 DLC or something like that, or like
yeah,
you know, like
it's one of those like low budget, not low budget, but the slightly cheaper sort of spin-off games.
It might be,
but yeah, Fun Speculation said obviously Ubisoft is big on monetization, so he's sure they'll support it for a long time. Yeah, of course. This is the generation where we're going to get so many service games. Literally, you're going to just have we had that boom of Netflix and every streaming service. This is going to be that generation of service games for everything. So, what about you, Slayer, then? What stood out to you then?
So honestly, there wasn't much. I think for, when it comes to like actual E3, I would have to say that I guess the Guardians of the Galaxy reveal was kind of cool, even though it didn't. That was like really the only other show that I watched other than Ubisoft, and I didn't get to see Nintendo. I didn't get to see Square Enix. I only really saw Ubisoft, Microsoft, and Gearbox. Oh God, don't even want to go there. That was a terrible one.
That they re-showed the same trailer from the night before.
Yeah. Like honestly, yeah. Like that's the thing. Like even though it wasn't E3, that was probably the Thursday show. Jeff Keighley's show was probably like the most interesting. Like because it had Elden Ring, which I'm a little bit excited about. That game looks pretty cool, and like the whole, it looks more. You could definitely see that it has, the Dark Souls teams, elements, and also George R.R. Martin's elements, which I really like because it's more like fantasy based, which looks really cool, like dragons and stuff like that. And that show also had a lot of indie games.
Yeah.
I don't know if you got to see the Tim Schafer's indie show. That was pretty cool too. They showed a lot of cool games on that show too.
Yeah, I thought that was better than the Summer Games Fest one, the indie one afterwards.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun little indie games, and Tim Schafer puts a lot of and I forget who the other guy was from the other company, the indie company, but they seem to put like a lot of love and passion into that show. So I really enjoyed that. Not a lot of talking in that one too. It was a lot of gameplay. So that was, like I said, it wasn't E3, but I was more excited watching that. Yeah. And I was actually more interested. Like it kept my interest more. Like when I was watching E3, Ubisoft and Gearbox, I was just like kind of sitting there on my phone, like, okay, waiting until this is over, Yeah. And then something popped up, and I was like, oh wait, what's that? Oh, it's just crap, whatever,
What you mean to say is you really enjoyed Hideo Kojima's 9/11 conversation that went on a bit too cringingly long when he kept talking about 9/11. I didn't get that. That was the weirdest bit of Summer Games Fest. And then they teased the director's cut of Thingy, which I thought was a good idea, and I'm surprised it was coming because like I didn't know it was coming, but it makes sense.
Right.
But the fact that they spent like the entire trailer of him looking at a box and then getting in and out of a box, I was like, why?
Well, pretty sure that's a Metal Gear reference.
Yeah, I assume it is. It is because in Metal Gear you can hide in the box and walk around, but it just was. I was like, could they not have shown something better off for a director's cut trailer? But
maybe that was like a little Easter egg. Maybe that they're making another Metal Gear or something like that.
Well, according to the internet, him getting in and out of that box means that Blue Box Studios has abandoned his Silent Hills, and it's actually Hideo Kojima. There's that rabbit hole that's been going on Twitter recently. It doesn't make any sense. It's like, well, blue is the opposite spectrum color to orange. So orange is coming out of a box means it's blue box. And blue box is actually got a black background. And this guy's name who was in charge of blue box, it's if you translate it in a certain country, it means Hideo or something like that. And you're like, what?
Talk about looking for something that isn't there.
If that is actually Hideo Kojima's Silent Hill, it looked like shit. It looked like a generic Unreal Engine Forest demo that when they showed that abandoned. Now, I'm not saying it won't look better in future, but surely to God, if you've got Hideo Kojima appearing at a show, you would just come out and say, yeah, I'm making Silent Hill and it's only on PlayStation, and be like, boom, drop that mic. You wouldn't pretend it's not for months and months and months. Create a fake company, which also kickstarted this game 5 years ago, bear in mind. People forget that. It had a Kickstarter, but for some reason people think that it's now a Kojima game. And it just baffles me. Have you seen that GIF where that guy's going like that with all the stuff on the wall?
Yeah.
With a crazy.
Yeah.
That is what the internet looks like.
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Yeah, that was a great show.
Honestly, if it is, it could be Silent Hills. That'd be amazing because I was gutted it got cancelled. It just doesn't make any sense. It just seems so stupid.
I mean, if that is right, maybe he's just like, being like a creative, like maybe he's just helping out. Or I think what it probably, maybe it's just a mission in the director's cut, that's it probably is. And it's also, but it also could be potentially, maybe he's throwing like an Easter egg in there because I don't know if they are licensing out Metal Gear, I believe, because they want to branch it out to other studios. I heard, so maybe he actually will be working on one day.
But then how could he be working on Silent Hill as well? He does like one game a
Well, that's the
decade.
thing.
Bless him.
I don't think he's working on Silent
No,
Hills.
I don't.
it's
I think
probably
he's put that away now. And
Yeah.
Death Stranding didn't sell well. And last time the news came out was like he was trying to go to Stadia because PlayStation didn't want him to do his game for PlayStation, so he went to Stadia.
And he decided to go to Stadia.
And then they dropped.
Yeah.
Then they stopped paying for games like their own studios. So then the last rumor was he was.
Oh.
You're muted. You are muted.
Yeah, sorry.
You died.
Basically, it was then bringing that game from Stadia to Xbox because Stadia decided to stop doing it. But it's such a weird. The internet's a weird place. This isn't just crazy fanboys. I was in like the media Discord for like the unofficial media Discord for E3, and a lot of those people seem to think it's a sure thing with no proof other than these weird.
That's where you found that whole story?
No,
Or was
that's been on. This has been a rumor since that game was announced, but now they're trying to. Now they're like trying to link everything into it. Like the boxes of oranges means blue box because orange is the opposite on the spectrum of blue, and you're like, mate, put the fucking spliff down and play games. All right, I will put my hand up now. Right, if Hideo Kojima comes out in a blonde wig and a mustache, and he's like, haha, it was me all along, I will put my hand up and say, I am sorry, I am wrong.
Oh my God.
But I don't believe it. It just doesn't make it. It seems too in depth. It's like too far down the rabbit hole.
Yeah,
but
a little far-fetched.
I will put up a post saying sorry, I am wrong if he does do it. But
that's not a rabbit hole. It's a groundhog.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm just imagining you taking off a mask. And
Yeah.
It was me all along.
Yeah. They've got Fred from Scooby Doo ripping this mask off, and it's just Hideo Kojima underneath. Let's see who it really was.
Holy shit!
If you're
That's
wrong, you
it.
also gotta make a sign.
Yeah, that's
You also
it.
gotta make a sign that you hold up. I was wrong, sorry, and then put that picture up on Twitter too.
I was wrong, sorry.
There you go.
But
if you're gonna, I don't know, man. Like when you put that much into a game, man, that's a lot of hype, isn't it? Or
that's what I mean. To be fair, the devs, right? The stupid devs did put a tweet out the other day saying we're going to reveal the proper name of this game. Starts with an S, ends in an L. Silent Hill. And then they were like, it's not Silent Hill though. Everyone seems to think it's like Spiral or something like that. It's going to be called or something. And they're like, we are not making Silent Hill. We're not Hideo Kojima. And it's like whoever's doing their social media is really good at building up hype. But if it's not Silent Hill now, that game is going to flatline straight away because everyone is going to revolt and be like, I'm not buying that shit. It's not Hideo Kojima. So they're either geniuses and they've really laid this rabbit hole out with these bloody oranges and stuff. They've really thought it through. Or it's just a really bad idea and it's all going to backfire. But we'll find out, and I'll sit there like with the popcorn like Michael Jackson eating it one way or another.
The last game that got that hyped, though, man.
Yeah, Cyberpunk, and look what happened there.
Yeah, Cyberpunk got hyped so much, and then everybody's just like, what is this?
Yeah.
For that Duke Nukem, 10 years.
And this is
oh my God.
This is why we'll never have a Half-Life 3. What is that?
We are. Hideo Kojima's making it.
Day. Yeah, right?
Like about Hideo Kojima, I'm just imagining, I don't know if we discussed that in other episodes or before here. Like, I'm just imagining how crazy were the fanboys when, during the events before the E3 week, now that
the Summer Games Fest one.
Yeah, the Summer Games Fest. How crazy were the fanboys when Hideo Kojima was there, and then I am showing you, oh my God, it's Silent Hill, Death Stranding, oh my God, it's a sequel to Death Stranding. Director's cuts.
Yeah.
Like, nice.
I thought that. I was like, I got hyped when I saw him. When I saw him, I was like, I wonder what he's announcing. And then the PlayStation logo came up, and I went, shit, Silent Hill's going to be exclusive to PlayStation. And then Norman Reedus' face came on, I was like, I don't care now, I'm fine. It's okay.
Like,
Death Stranding isn't a bad game, but I don't lock Silent Hill behind a paywall that I have to buy another console because
how funny would it be
I don't want that.
If the director's cut of Death Stranding was in an orange box. PlayStation's orange box. There we go. Take that.
It's mad. It's mad. I'd love to know what goes in the little brains. It's great. So,
Man, like it's orange, but it's all related to blue. What's going on?
and it was something like in Death Stranding, something is reminiscent to Blue Box or something. So then that means Death Stranding's linked to Blue Box, and I was like, what? But hey, man, maybe I'm just not smoking the same stuff they are, and they've gone that next level. They've sort of they've transcended into that sort of atmosphere where they can see it all clearly. So they're like, far out, man. Hideo Kojima's making Silent Hill, dude. So we'll find out, and then I'll make a public apology when I'm absolutely wrong. But this isn't an achievement insider, so I stand corrected. That's why I may be wrong. What about you, Alucard? Then what did you like that wasn't on the Xbox show at E3, if anything?
There's so many things that he just can't decide.
Wait. The question was what I thought what should have been on there?
No, what did you like from the whole of E3, but wasn't part of Xbox? Because the Xbox show, we've discussed that. So,
I really saw, like I said, I really saw Ubisoft besides the Xbox show, but I would say Rainbow Six Extraction was what I saw what I really want to play. Elden Ring, which was I know the day before or a couple days before, that game looked really great, but if it's like Dark Souls, then I'm probably not going to play it.
It is going to be like that.
But it looks so good. I was like, I don't know, almost have to play
well,
it.
It is like if it looks so good, then that means that it's not a Dark Souls game. Dark Souls are usually horrible games.
I mean, it looked great, but I would say Rainbow Six Extraction is what I would want to play because even though I think it copies Gears a lot, like because of this of like you get kidnapped and they like cocoon you or whatever. That's what it sounds like. That's just like Gears, that story. But
just because of the hype bursts thing.
Yeah, but that doesn't play like Gears though. So I don't know if they're gonna have a cover system. Like, I mean, you do take cover, but it's not like the same thing though. But I don't know because like I said, I didn't really watch much like besides like Ubisoft and like Xbox, and so I'm not a Nintendo fan, so I really don't really care about Nintendo all that much. But that's about it that I saw that I liked.
Pick me. Pick me.
Anyone else? Anyone else? Yeah. What about you, Bob?
Outside of the Xbox show, hands down, I have to give it to Ninja Theory. Their showcasing of how the woman that works there that plays Senua, she is undergone 2 years of hand-to-hand combat training for the mocap that is being done, which really gives us kind of a tip of their hand of the gameplay that we're going to see in Hellblade 2. Because if you remember in the first Hellblade, it was a lot of walking around and a lot of mind games, but as far as battling, you had your set piece one-on-one battles with the bosses that were in between the levels. And a lot of the mocap that we saw of her, she was unarmed in this mocap. So I think we're going to see a lot of mini battles, maybe even ambushing and attacking people in the world on the way to those set pieces. And a lot of the not mocap, but photogrammetry that they've had people in Iceland for months just photogramming the scenery, the landscape, all the video, everything that Ninja Theory showed really gave us an in-depth look into what we can expect from Hellblade 2, and I was blown away by Ninja Theory's after Xbox show.
After
Okay,
Xbox
yeah,
show.
Yes.
I think with that we can go to the topic of the extended showcase.
Didn't Bob just cheat a little bit? Because we were talking about
He
the
did.
non-Xbox.
We'll let him off
showcase.
because he wasn't here
That's-
last week.
that's right.
We'll let him off.
That's what I thought.
okay,
That's what
okay.
I'll jump on
See,
to
that's what I
mine then, and
thought,
we'll move the misdirection over because I don't want Bob getting all the shit. So it's not his fault. He's just excited, bless him.
Yeah.
So the things that really stood out to me, from E3 that weren't the Xbox stuff. The Intellivision Amico had a little sort of 10-12 minute show, showing
The
off
show.
the show, yeah. And they just showed off what was the games that are coming in the console. So it comes with a couple of games in built and a few of the other games and stuff like that, and a bit more about it. So it was really nice to see a new console be shown. That's doing something totally different. This isn't aiming for sort of like crystal clear, perfect, realistic graphics, 60 FPS and that. This is aimed at family fun. This is going to be like a Wii. And I feel like if it can get out there, it could be as popular. It probably won't get to the heights of a Wii because obviously it's not Nintendo pushing it and they haven't got like Zelda and stuff. But the fact that it's got like classic Intellivision games getting remasters and remakes, classic Atari games getting remasters and remakes, they're not doing anything that's above like a PG. It's all family friendly, all the games. You can use mobile phones as extra pads and stuff like that. It's been built around couch co-op and stuff like that, and it looks. I mean, it probably won't appeal to hardcore gamers, but from someone as a dad who's got little kids who always want to play, being able to jump in and play like Missile Command or some like they've got a new game being built by the people, the original developers of Echo the Dolphin. So, and it looks like a multiplayer Echo game, but with whales.
What, Echo?
Echo the Dolphin. It was a Mega Drive game. Yeah. So Echo. That was really cool.
Oh God,
if you haven't watched that, check it out.
Dumb.
What else was there? Obviously, the Assassin's Creed Valhalla DLC was awesome news. What else was there? There was something that stood out to me, and it's totally gone. The Guardians of the Galaxy stuff was nice, but I feel like that could have just been an Avengers DLC that has now been cancelled and moved to a full game to make more money because Avengers bombed.
Probably.
Really hard.
And the Nintendo stuff showed some stuff I was really interested in. We're getting Fatal Frame, and it's coming to Xbox. We haven't had a Fatal Frame since the OG Xbox, so we're getting a new Fatal Frame. We're getting a new Monkey Ball game that's coming to Xbox as well. That was shown at the
I don't know what that is.
the Nintendo show. You're basically a monkey in a ball rolling around collecting bananas.
Like the Monkey Ball game, you're basically a
monkey in a ball.
Really.
That's it.
It's Marble Madness with a different skin.
Yeah.
Thanks for the info, Ash. I wasn't able to.
Well, Alucard doesn't know, so. There was a few other stuff. They're bringing out Advance Wars Remastered. So it used to be a DS game or a Game Boy game. It's coming out on Switch. And then they're bringing out a Nintendo Zelda Game & Watch, which has like 3 classic Zelda games in this little Game & Watch. And I thought that looked pretty cool. I would probably want one of them for a collector's sake. But other than that, it was mainly indie games. They were the highlight outside of Xbox with the amount of amazing indie games. And I can't remember half of them because the names anyway, but they all looked awesome. And there was so many. Like, what was it called now? There was a showcase which was just about indie games, and it was like a uplifting name. And I can't remember what it was called, but it was really good. And I really enjoyed loads of them, and a load of them are coming to Game Pass. So I assume a lot of them will come to Xbox as well in future. So if you haven't checked that out, there's currently the demos on Xbox, and also Steam are doing an E3 sort of future indie games demo showcase as well with different games on. So check them out because there's so many cool and upcoming games. But yeah, other than that, E3 was long, laborious, boring at times. whoever they had as the hosts, they had some bloke with glasses on. He was so annoying. Actually, on the E3 parts of the E3 show, like around the showcases, I don't know who the fuck he was, but he was so annoying, and he put me off wanting to watch most of the time. He was so annoying. I had to mute it till the shows came on. But yeah, so I think overall E3 wasn't super cool.
As good as it should be.
No, it wasn't as good as it has been in past years. Better for Microsoft. Like I say, Microsoft had a banger of a show, like a real good one. But Nintendo's, I don't think, was as good as some of the past ones. It didn't have as many wow moments. We're getting Jin or whatever it is from Tekken, or Jin's dad in Tekken as a character in Smash Bros. But other than that,
no, it's
there wasn't Kazuya. That's his dad in it, or his granddad, or one of them.
Yeah, no.
Oh yeah,
Kazuya is the father of Jin.
Yeah,
and the son of Heihachi.
That's it. Yeah, so it's Jin's dad. Yeah, so, and we did a poll. I put a poll up on Twitter earlier. What would you rate E3? All of it as a whole, not just one showcase. 53% said C, 26% said B, 13% said A, and sort of 7% said D. So whoever said A is blind. Obviously didn't watch all of E3. They're literally just basing that on a couple of showcases because half of it was awful. Not even half of it, more than half of it.
I think people just got confused because since it's the Xbox Live Party podcast, Twitter account.
Oh no, but I did put not just one showcase, all shows. So
okay, so they are just blind.
Yeah,
the ones who said A didn't watch very many other E3s apparently.
No, they'll have just watched Nintendo or Microsoft's and stuff. But yeah, to people on Twitter who are trying to say, like that people are attacking Kotaku because they said the all digital E3 was a mess. Yeah, it was. It was a mess compared to other E3s.
It was.
Don't make you a Sony fanboy. And me saying that the Xbox and Nintendo were the only ones that really brought E3 from being a total failure. It doesn't make me a Sony fanboy. I don't give a shit about PlayStation at E3. I just think the rest of E3 was awful. Gearbox was awful. Square was pretty awful. Devolver, normally amazing, was way too long and showed way too little games. I think they only showed 4 games off very quickly. And it was more about laughing about bloody NFTs and microtransactions and stuff. So
terrible, man. That one was so terrible. I you know, the first like 5 minutes after the first 5 minutes, I was like, wait, there's more of this crap. Like, what are you guys doing? What is this? Like, I get you guys do the satire and all that stuff like every year, but
put the games in as well.
Yeah, dragged on so hard. I was like, what is going on? What am I watching right now?
Did they show more of Death's Door?
Yes, but not much of it. And it wasn't the amount of gameplay was probably about 5 minutes in a 30-minute presentation. It was so long, and just it was clearly they haven't got a lot of games ready because of COVID, which is fair play. But maybe don't do a half-hour presentation or show more gameplay. But one thing we did get after E3, which was a bit of a perk, was the E3 Game Showcase Extended, which was on Thursday after E3 ended. Now, we already know that Hellblade was there and Ninja Theory because Bob's already got on about it.
Well.
Couldn't help it.
No, but it was really well. I am pretty excited for Hellblade. I liked what they did there. Like, we are not ready to show you official gameplay of it, but we will give you some idea of how things are going to work and how is the progress of our development. So yeah, I really enjoyed what they did there with Hellblade, and it looks amazing. I hope that it continues to look like that, because holy crap,
yeah,
is this
it
what
looks
it's going to be
like what I'm seeing is passion from that developer. They said they had everybody do combat training, like not just the actress, but like the other game developers that were designing the game. They said that they had other people do combat training as well. So this is like so much passion and emotion.
Not only that, but they bring light to, like, you know, they revolve their games around interesting like topics and they issues and stuff like that, like situations like how Hellblade deals with like psychosis or whatever that thing is. Like, it's interesting.
You can tell though that the Microsoft money that they invested in a brand new sort of motion capture studio and everything when Microsoft purchased them. You can tell because it's like lifelike. The characters look amazing.
Yeah. I mean, one thing I think is really cool about Ninja's theory is, like, if you take the character that plays Senua, I mean, they didn't do what other studios do, and they go and like Kojima went and got Norman Reedus. The person that plays Senua, she was nobody. Okay, she worked in the studio, and they said, "Hey, yo, you want to be? Try it out." And it's like, wow. I mean, this person that her just by seeing her now, like, hey, that's Senua.
And she can perfect cosplay all the time, because have you seen all the pictures they put on sort of Instagram and Twitter where she's like at work in full gear? I was like, that must be ace to go into work dressed like a warrior just because you can.
I bet she's putting everything into this role. Like,
I bet
everything.
I hope she got a pay rise anyway, because she did a good job. So.
Oh yeah. I mean, they made her into like a movie star. She might. You never know. She might get like a role in something else now. You know.
And what I do like is they haven't really tweaked her face or anything that much in the game. No. Whereas some games, you look at them and they take sort of the eyes and the mouth and the nose, but then the head is different. And I hate that in games. Just use their actual face. Don't cast them or use the face. Do you know what I mean? So don't half it.
She can literally kick your ass in real life now because she's got combat training.
Right? Like, to see what Ninja Fury has become for the results that we had with the buyouts. I am including Bleeding Edge and the projects that they are working on. I am really glad to see that Microsoft has kept their promise to the studio, because when they were about to buy Ninja Fury said, we don't want to be part of the standard AAA machine with microtransactions. We don't want to be told what game to do and how to do it. And Microsoft say, well, if you join us, you will have that, and not only that, but our support team, marketing, technology teams are all at your disposal, and all the resources you need, we'll give it to you. So see that happening, truly happening for a while. We've been looking at it with their games. We had passion projects, small projects like Bleeding Edge, and it may not have worked out, but for the fan base of that game, and I am included in that, it worked so well. It was so good, and for what we've been seeing with Hellblade 2 is just amazing. Like, the Microsoft that we have nowadays is really, really different in comparison with the Microsoft that we had before.
Yeah. Well, look at Project Mara. That's a passion project. It's clearly a small team doing it, and it looks amazing. I mean, I don't know what it's about, and I don't think it's going to be anything like people think. It's going to be like a weird sort of interactive experience, I think, in like a house. But it looks fantastic what they've shown. It looks literally lifelike. They're going to set new standards for graphics going forward.
It's beautiful
on console games.
It's just beautiful how things have evolved, to be honest. And I do think that Ninja Fury has the potential to be the studio who is going to be like one of the biggest studios from Microsoft. Like, is a studio that is going to compete with studios like Naughty Dog and Santa Monica from Sony. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ninja Fury and The Initiative are the studios that I think are going to be the top tier studios for Xbox, to be honest.
Oh, definitely. But yeah, this extended showcase, it was presented by Paris, who's one of the sort of video game content creators, I would say, online. He's quite good. He's quite fair and quite balanced. He did a great good job of it. I didn't watch the entire show because I was getting my tooth done at the time. So what I did was I watched the end and then I watched the video bits of the bits I was interested in. But they showed off Hellblade and stuff with a little teaser, and it did look fantastic. No, then it was Halo. Halo, they showed an extended sort of breakdown of the multiplayer, which is more of the same. But one thing they did say was the season pass. If you buy the season pass, it doesn't expire. So, like in Sea of Thieves and Apex Legends, Fortnite, you only have like 2 months or 3 months to play them. In Halo, if you don't finish it in that time, you can then finish it whenever. So they're not going to sell the stuff in the season pass for like a one-off fee that you can pay later. You have to get it by actually playing. So everyone who's got, so if you see someone with a cool armor, it's they've earned that in game. They haven't bought it like in Fortnite and stuff. But say like me, I don't really play the Sea of Thieves season pass because I just don't have time at the moment to get to max level. But in Halo, if I bought the season pass and I didn't finish it when this one was on, you can then put XP from. You can assign it in the future, whatever time you can assign where your XP goes to which season pass, which I think is awesome. And I think that'll change season passes going forward because it's such.
I hope so.
It's such a good idea because I love season passes and I'm all for paying a little bit every couple, like 3 months, every quarter to keep the game going, give them some money, I get some cool stuff. But I don't like paying like 15 quid to know I may not actually get everything that I'm paying for. So I always feel like the season pass should be like that. I've paid for it.
Yeah.
As long as I play it, I can get it. Do you know what I mean? So
that's how I feel about Gears of War right now. They're on like Operation 7, and I've missed out on so much. I can't go back and get that stuff.
No, which you will be able to with Halo all the time, which is fantastic. And I hope.
I really hope it does change the way that that battle passes work, because like that is like, you know, and especially because like so many games are doing it now. Yeah. It's like, you know, like I love Rocket League, I love Sea of Thieves, you know, I sometimes play Fortnite depending on what they have on the battle pass, and it's just like I want to get that stuff because it's like, you know, it's definitely worth it for the money, even though, you know, because like you literally get for $20 you get like 100 pieces of whatever, like, you know, clothing, skins, whatever. Whereas, you know, sometimes if you go to the store, you spend that $20 on like one skin, you know, so it's worth it, but it's like
it's only worth it if you get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my problem. I've not bought a season pass for Sea of Thieves. I would love to because I want the stuff in them. But like the last season I got to like 50 and I actually 60 and I actually played quite a bit. This season I'm only at like 35, 40 because I just don't have enough time to play it constantly. So they would have got money out of me if they'd allowed me to do it like Halo were doing it. But that's their decision. Hopefully they bring that sort of system out to Sea of Thieves in future. I honestly hope so.
Well, the good thing about Sea of Thieves though is that only 10 of them are the ones that you have to pay for. Everything else is free.
Yeah,
so
but they're the best ones though, aren't they, is what I mean. So
well, yeah, but still, the thing is though that some of the you still get like a lot of gold and you do still get some like outfits and stuff like that. So it's at least you know you're still, it's not like, you know, it's not like I guess in terms of the price for what you're getting, maybe that could be like, I guess, a point of contention because, you know, you are paying $8 for just 10 items versus other battle passes where you're paying like 20 for like 100. But at the same time, though, if you don't want to pay for it, you're still getting stuff for free, and you can still pretty much play until level 100 and be getting stuff all the time.
Oh, I don't complain about the price, but I think with Sea of Thieves would sell loads more if there wasn't you could play it later on and get them. Because like for me, if I only get 3 of the 5 items, I don't want to pay 8 quid. I want all 5 for my 8 quid.
Right.
I mean, back in the day, you'd pay 8 quid and you'd get like a DLC pack. Do you know what I mean? You wouldn't be like, I have to play a game to maybe get a DLC.
Yeah. In a perfect world, I think, you know, we all believe that battle passes are BS, and, you know, we'd rather just get the items in game for free because we paid for the game, or maybe just like DLC, whatever, you know, like one price and you just get it without worrying about it. But if anything, though, the way that Halo is planning on doing the battle passes, I definitely think that is the way to go. Yeah. Because you don't have that feeling of missing out. You don't have that like pressure of like, I gotta put in 12, 20 hours today. Like, you know, like I'm gonna have to do that for Sea of Thieves. I'm gonna have to, like, you know, I have 4 days, so I'm probably gonna have to play for like 12 hours straight just to finish up the rest of it, you know, or something like that, you know. And it's like, I don't want to do that. I'd rather play something else, you know, and like just play Sea of Thieves whenever I want it. Like, it's kind of forcing me to play it. whenever even though I don't necessarily maybe will not want to play right now, but so definitely the way that Halo's doing it or is gonna do it, that's the best way. And I'm kind of surprised that they're gonna do it like that, but that is a great idea. I think that
Oh,
if
the only
everyone
thing
adopts
you
that,
would
it's amazing.
the only thing you can miss out is, I guess, if it's like a map, right, or something like that. Like
no,
the
they
season
they
for
change
no,
the
Halo.
map, I guess.
the maps just go into rotation,
Yeah,
I think.
Oh,
That's
So
cool.
so you won't miss out on anything
no,
if you
no,
really. Oh
you
wow.
the only
not at
thing is
all.
like you
Not
would
at all.
have to you when you put in your XP to say season pass 1, you wouldn't be gaining it for season pass 2, so you may always be behind, or you could finish season pass 2 and then be like, oh, I've still got time, let's put it on season pass 1 and catch up, sort of thing. So
You know what though? You may actually be right that other companies may adopt this because think about it, right? Let's say Fortnite, they're like up to Battle Pass 20 or whatever. They're up there. They're because I think they were the ones that first started it, right?
yeah,
So imagine if they brought all of them back and they let everyone like buy each of them separately and say, okay, here you go. This season you could put in whatever you could buy all of them and just choose which one you want to level up and you can still get the old items. Like that's so much content. Like I'm sure people would be pissed and be like, "Wow, look at all this DLC. It's like $20 per pass, and there's like 30 of them here. That's like so much money." But like that's that it was there from the beginning, right? So now they're just giving you an option of like, hey, if
yeah,
you want, and maybe you don't even want some of this stuff. Maybe like this pass doesn't interest you, so you don't have to buy it,
yeah, yeah,
but you can go
exactly.
back and not worry about it. And like I feel like if this is successful for Halo and they see a lot of people buying multiple ones and just being able to, just keep them and just getting that revenue, like even after a year after that Battle Pass was like initially announced, like other publishers were like, oh my god, yes, that's good money. Yes, let's do this. Greedy, you know,
Well, to be
more
fair,
money.
all the Apex Legend players were out in force the other day saying they want Apex Legends to adopt this sort of idea because they think it's a
Oh
better
wow,
idea. So
yeah,
there is an outcry for it, and I think we'll see it in the future. Maybe not straight away, but next year I think more will pick that up.
good.
Then they moved on to Forza Horizon 5. Do you want to chat about this quickly, Fabio?
To be honest, for the Forza Horizon thing, I haven't watched a lot, but I did the part that I did watch mostly and that I have more info is the Psychonauts 2 thing that they showed up.
Yeah.
And it was, can I go with that?
Yeah, jump onto that. I'll be back in a second. So if you can just keep chatting, I'll be back in a second. I'll talk about.
Because they did show some some more, like they gave us a deep dive for Psychonauts 2. And here's the thing, instead of just getting the same trailer that we had before and talking about some of the moments of the trailer, Tim Schafer was talking about the developments, how the game was going to work, the story behind it, some of the elements that are going to be returning from the previous game, and also showing gameplay while doing that. And if you look at how the game is looking, like, is really gorgeous, to be honest. Psychonauts 2 is a game that I am amazingly excited. I am replaying the first game again just to remember how it was to play Psychonauts, and not just about the universe and the crazy things that happen inside Tim Schafer's mind, because this is a game from him, but
Yeah.
also to remember all the mechanics and how creative Double Fine is, and how that game established Double Fine as a good studio, because I think Psychonauts 1 was their first big game, stuff like that.
I think so.
Because I think Schiffer, he was a employee from LucasArts, and
Right.
then he moved out to create his own studio, and it was Double Fine. And man, it looks really gorgeous. Some returning characters, some returning features, new areas, and it seems that we are going to have some new gameplay styles. Like there was a section there on the Xbox Game Showcase where it was like instead of a 3D environment, you were playing in a 2D environment, going side scrolling from the left to the right.
So I just looked it up, and yeah, that was actually not only was that their first biggest game, but it was their first game in general,
Yeah,
according to Wikipedia.
Nice, nice. Man, it was so well done, and I am really excited for it. Do you guys have any comments about Psychonauts 2?
So I mean,
Yeah.
I actually sorry. Go ahead, Bob.
I was just gonna speak on Microsoft's decision to acquire Double Fine solely on the work that they did on the first Psychonauts. It's
Mm.
it speaks a lot of the relationships that Microsoft has with some of these studios. Just to see the little bit of work that they've done to put that investment in and say, please make a sequel to this game that you're so well known for. Go on.
But like, would you say that it was only for the first Psychonauts and like no involvement behind like we loved what you did with Brutal Legends or
Oh
any other
yeah,
Double Fine games?
I mean, I'm sure.
yeah, I'm sure, but I mean, come on, we're getting a Psychonauts 2 and not a Brutal Legends 2 first, right? So
Fair,
Well,
fair enough.
but to be
One
fair
day.
though, I
Fair
think
enough.
Brutal Legend was by EA, so it
It
was
was
published by EA. So
published by EA.
yeah, so who knows if they even hold that IP? They would own that IP at this point.
Yeah, but go on, Slayer.
No, I was just gonna say like I actually and I think I shared this before. Like I've never played the first one, and that's terrible of me, I know, and I will definitely now that the second one's coming out, I will definitely try out. I think I'm gonna play that's after Biomutant, which I think I'm maybe like a quarter of the way to halfway through. Once I finish that, I think I'm gonna play through Psychonauts because I don't think that's a long game, right? It's like what 10 hours
10
or something like
hours
that.
ish.
Yeah.
10 hours, something like that.
10ish.
Yeah, it's not super
Yeah,
long. The
so
first one's not super long. The second one looks a lot longer. Now they've expanded it and added loads of like
yeah,
side quests and stuff. But the first one is a lot
which is
quicker.
cool.
And there's a lot of Jack Black in the new one too.
Yes.
Yeah,
Is that
Oh,
we're
nice?
going
cool.
to have Jack Black.
If you watch his YouTube channel, he did actually do an extended. Well, I say an extended. He did like a 10-minute video where he was playing one of the levels.
Mhm.
But he is voicing characters in it.
Nice.
Yeah, it's another week,
Yeah.
another week with no Jablinski Games videos. I'm still sad.
I've been kind of kind of keeping myself in the dark about it because I don't want to kind of spoil anything that from the first game if there is anything, because I'm sure since it is a sequel, there's a lot of stuff that maybe if you saw it you would spoil your the first game for yourself.
Oh yeah, there are some spoilers there.
Yeah, so I've
I
been
think Schaefer
yeah.
himself talks about it.
Yeah,
So,
so I that's one of the reasons why like I don't really keep myself updated on the second one yet, because I really do want to play through the first one, and then maybe I'll look through the showcase again to see like because then I'll have like a fresh perspective on it, like, oh yeah, like I know this character or something like that, so
it's worth your time.
oh, and I'm sure. I mean, it looks like I
Like
mean, the second one, I did see some gameplay and some trailers from it because of the other E3s, and I was like, oh, this actually looks really cool. And then when it came to when it finally came to Game Pass, and it was free for anyone, and it's been on. I think it's never leaving Game Pass at this point.
Probably
More
not
than likely.
now.
So
What
happened?
Yeah, it probably won't now. It's on
Yeah,
permanently, hopefully.
yeah.
Did
So,
you see
like,
the new 4K photos they released the other day? They look really nice. They showed a few more
the game looks
photos off,
beautiful.
so I love the
It
art
does look really
style.
nice.
I love it.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Sensei in the chat. Thanks for
How you
coming
doing,
along
Sensei?
and
Doing good, mate.
joining us.
So, yeah, maybe
How's it going?
besides the Psychonauts, I think we could talk. Is there anything for us to talk about Flying Simulator?
I'll get through the
It looks
list.
gorgeous.
Give me a minute. I'll work down the
looking
list.
Beautiful.
So
It's just because I'm afraid of us talking about every single thing that happened during the extended showcase.
I'll cut it down. I'll cut it down quickly.
A 4-hour-long episode.
Yeah, I'll cut it down. So Forza Horizon 5, Team 17 came out and said this will be Forza Horizon's largest, most diverse open world yet. From snowy peaks to tropical jungles, to epic canyons to amazing beaches, to both historic and modern cities, and there'll be loads to explore. There wasn't a lot on that. There's a piece on here we've already got on the list to talk about later, so I'm skipping it now. They showed off more about Battlefield 2042, but it's just Battlefield.
Yeah.
They showed off more gameplay of that co-op shooter the Anacrusis, that's on that spaceship with the aliens. That looks like a cheap Left 4 Dead. It's nice. It's coming to Game Pass. It doesn't particularly make me excited. It didn't look that great. I'm not gonna lie. It just looked like a cheap Game Pass filler game. I put my hand up and say that is a type of Game Pass filler, I would imagine. But we can play it. It's co-op. It looks fun enough. It looks like it'll be a fun game, but it doesn't look like something I would buy Game Pass for. But they showed off more about Stalker 2, but we talked about that before. They announced that Plague Tale is getting the original game is getting a next gen version. Yeah, and it'll run at 4K, 60 FPS, and it'll come out on July the 6th. Age of Empires 4 is getting 2 new factions and campaigns.
No Xbox though.
No Xbox yet. Pirates of the Caribbean they showed more off. And they have announced a deep dive is taking place on Sunday, June the 20th. So that's tomorrow. They're going to do an extended show. They did this. They normally do this with when there's a new DLC or an expansion out. It's just about the new expansion. Hopefully, it explains and answers a few questions like: is this going to be a standalone DLC? Is it PvE or is it in a PvP? Yeah. Is it in its own little world? Is it in the main game, or are they just adding a new area? Is it a temporary expansion because of licensing or permanent? We don't know yet, but they did show a kraken with a face, and you fight a kraken through like a wall by the looks of it, which looked pretty awesome. So, and they showed off loads of new areas and stuff in the trailer. It looks gorgeous. Loads of new enemies, loads of new monsters and stuff. So I'm looking forward to that. And they have said lots of like the crab monsters and stuff. This is something they did say were coming to the main game permanently as well. So that's what makes me
awesome.
That makes me think that this is going to be standalone or in its own little area. But a lot of the enemies and stuff will, like the other expansions, they've slowly made their way into the game permanently. That's going to happen here as well. So hopefully we'll get more stuff to fight. Hades had a character breakdown, which is fantastic, but it's just Hades. Grounded's update was expanded on and chatted about. Like I say, it was just Shredders, showcased a bit more of that. There was a weird Scarlet Nexus developer deep dive, which was really weird because the guy talking, obviously it was translated because they were like a Japanese company, but the camera wasn't pointing at him and he was like looking off into random directions when he was talking. It was really off-putting for me. The game looks great. I'm sad it's not on Game Pass. I feel like that would be a really cool Game Pass get because it's one of those games that, yes, a lot of people want it, but it is also very niche. That sort of anime style is niche compared to sort of like Call of Duty or something. But if you watch the deep dive, it's weird because the developers, like the cameras are like in different angles, and so he's like looking over here and talking, and you're like, why? Look at the camera and chat. I did this. And you're like, what's going on?
I'm just curious about, because here's the thing. Overall, this conference, this extended showcase that we had absolutely no mention of Bethesda or anything. We had nothing. So it's kind of curious, don't you think?
Maybe they're going to do another show with just them. It wouldn't surprise me.
But like an extended showcase, but only with the Bethesda side of it.
To be fair, though, the stuff that they announced for Bethesda was all a long way away, really.
Yeah.
So
deep into the future.
And then, much to Bob's satisfaction, they did release more about the Microsoft Flight Simulator console version. So it's going to arrive on X and S on July 27th. And
no mention of Xbox One.
No, they've said, there was an interview the other day where Phil said they're going to look into bringing these games to Xbox One via cloud. So that's the way to backwards compatible. You're going to just get xCloud on a console and you'll play it that way.
Yep.
But lead developer Jorg Newman, I apologize if I've butchered your name, said it will feature more tutorials than the PC version to help new players, and that there's going to be a new land anywhere feature in it that will let players land anywhere. And it should make exploring the world a lot more fun and less intimidating. So I don't know why you couldn't land anywhere in the PC version, because it's a flight game. If you land, you land. Do you just hit grass and just explode or something on the PC version? But according to this version, the console version will have a land anywhere for us flight simulator noobs. So when we downward nose spiraling into the ground, we can just go like, bloop, and we're fine.
We won't be that precise in comparison to the PC version. So yeah, I think they decided to since these fuckers are going to kill themselves every time they end up landing, let's help them.
I just imagine us all playing it in co-op. Do you know, you can fly together, and you've all got, like Fabio, you'll have one of those little planes like from the trailer, and I'm just going to fly past everyone in one of those fucking Top Gun jets, just like.
So you got this.
Just to be
is this your dream? Is this
That's
why
it,
you
yeah.
are excited? Like,
Imagine if Flight Sim was open, like massively multiplayer online. You just fly around, like minding your business. Some twat just comes past, like straight in front of your flight plan. I want to play as the UFO. That's what I want to play as, and just like fucking all over the place. That's future DLC. That. But it looks gorgeous.
The first hour we'll just be crashing into each other just to mess each other up.
Oh yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
It'll be. Can we all like get in a line and like sit on top of each other in a straight flight? That's what we need to. Like a pyramid. Can we make a pyramid?
Remember in Top Gun when he inverted over top of the MiG and they took a picture of him? Give him
the finger. That's what we're gonna have to do. That we'll spend like a whole day and we'll just headbutt.
Yeah.
That's it.
And crashing into each other's houses.
Yeah.
But
but
did you feel that? Are you okay?
But that was it basically. They just they showed a load of cool stuff off. If you're interested, check out the videos in 4K on YouTube. You can't do it justice describing it. They all look beautiful.
Especially Hellblade.
Yeah, especially Hellblade. Yeah, we're literally spoilt now for the rest of this year, and looking like into next year we're going to be spoiled as well. So
the rest of the next couple of years, I think.
We got no games though. I mean,
do you know what? I wouldn't even care if none of them were exclusive. I've got too many games. I don't care. I just want to play them.
I don't care about being
but they are not
exclusive or not. It doesn't matter.
They will be released on PC day one. That's
There ain't no exclusive round here. That's on a PC. Everyone's got 5K PCs to play them though. It's fine.
Oh yeah.
The amount of salt on the internet this week. Oh my god, it's been great. Did you see Did you see Metro put an article out? They're like, Starfield showcase for Xbox may still come to PS5. It's like, what?
PS5.
How did any of that say it was coming to PS5? It says in big letters, Xbox and PC only, and like exclusive.
It's just because Todd Howard said that they wanted to release the game in as many platforms.
Yeah, but that means cloud and xCloud.
Yeah, but they
it's fun date bollocks.
And with Pete Hines saying sorry to the PlayStation fans.
Yeah, but he did later correct that. He did tweet that he wasn't saying sorry that it was exclusive. He was saying, "I am sorry your feelings are hurt." So it's like he says it's business. It's not I'm not sorry that it's exclusive. I am sorry that you are unhappy that it's exclusive.
Yeah, I know, but like the media, the fanboys are going to listen what they wanna hear. It doesn't matter for them the truth. Like they will consider that with this. I'm sorry. It doesn't matter if Pete Hines says I don't care if it is Xbox exclusive. Fuck you about that.
Yeah.
But people will say that Xbox is the bad guy and is forcing Bethesda to make it exclusive, and that's it. Like people will do and listen and hear what they just wanna do.
I still don't get that like argument. Like, Microsoft bought Bethesda, and then they're keeping the games from us. Like Sony bought Insomniac. Those games are not coming anywhere else other than PlayStation. Like, well, it's the same thing. It's just that it just happens that Bethesda's just a bigger company with a lot of studios. You know, they're just.
Bethesda are nice. Do you remember Insomniac just put never in that tweet saying when someone asked?
Yeah.
I just wanted to, since we do have a free pass on talking about fanboys, I'm gonna show you a fanboy post that I put it on Discord. That is the guy saying, besides Starfield is shit, and then the guy replied to him saying, I know I should buy the other console or a bad SPC, but I hate that Microsoft did an anti-consumer move like this. I get it with the time exclusive that Sony always does, but an entire dev like Bethesda is very whack. I'm playing Fallout right now, and I was really sad a bit. Like, I get it. Like, I know Sony does that, but fuck it, I don't like it when Microsoft does
That's
it. Like,
it. That's
what
the.
Well, no, he was basically saying that Sony only does time exclusive. They don't keep it from Xbox.
Yeah.
which is
Okay. What's
obviously not
Insomniac
true.
then?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Insomniac
That's bullshit.
and
Right.
Last of Us and
We'll
all those other
we'll
games.
move on from the fanboyness before it devolves. Bob's got to go soon, so we're going to wrap it up. There's not much left to talk about.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Sea of Thieves
Alucard
is
also gotta
getting
go.
another Twitch drop, 25th, 26th, and 27th of this month, and it's not linked to partners this time, so you don't have to watch partners on Twitch. You can watch anyone who's streaming it. So we're planning on playing some Sea of Thieves next week when the DLC comes out.
Heck yeah.
So
Sea of
between
Thieves. Sea of
between me and Slayer, we'll stick some drops on between us so everyone can grab freebie items.
Definitely.
We'll post it up close to the time what days we're playing.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on, Xbox Design Lab has come back. Now it's with the Xbox Series X and S pads. Check them out. They're a bit pricey, but they look gorgeous. It's £8, like $10 just to put your name on the bottom. The robbing bastards, though.
Jeez.
I don't know. I don't know if you saw on Twitter. I tried to do a custom Banjo-Kazooie controller.
Yeah.
I tried my best there. I think
I want one
liked
that.
what I did there, but I tried my best.
I like the one that someone's done that looks like an OG 360 controller. That
Yeah.
I want that one so bad. It looks so
Yeah.
good. But yeah, that's back now, and they're all active, so you can grab them. And that's it for the news. So big thank you to everyone who's
No,
took
we
part.
do have one thing.
We
do
have a
have
podcast
some-
announcement,
one-
but in terms of gaming news, we're through for the day. But we do have some podcast news. We won't be doing a podcast next week. We're having a break. We're having a 1 week time off break. Mainly because I am absolutely shattered from E3 and I want to play Sea of Thieves and other games one weekend. We'll do something at the same time, but it'll probably be a live stream of us gaming and chatting. So it won't be a formal podcast. It'll probably be us all playing a game, chatting like we're doing now, but less structured, and it'll be probably on YouTube or Twitch, depending on what we stream it on. But
Gamecast.
yeah, we won't be doing a proper podcast. It'll be like a live game stream and like a games cast, like Slayer says. After that, we will be back as normal, and it'll be classed as a season 2. There's nothing really changing as such, but Bob will only be able to join us every fortnight soon, due to just life and work. So what we're planning to do is, on those weeks Bob can't join us, we are going to have special guests. Just to make sure we fill the numbers, basically. So we'll be announcing more special guests soon. We haven't booked everyone in yet. However, I can say that Garrett Atkins, who was one of the guys who created that Game Pass counter, and he's at UXP, he will be coming on the 10th of July, I believe, when the Jinner isn't here.
Nice.
As well. So that's the first guest we've got announced. But other than that, nothing's changing as such in the podcast. It's still going to go the same. We may redo the background, make it nice and shiny, give it a sort of an update. People have been asking for our names on the screen so they can tell who's talking and stuff like that. If you don't know our face by now, so I'm thinking of tweaking it so you can see who's talking. But other than that, like I say, there's no major changes. It's just next week we'll still be here, but we're not doing a newscast. We're firing Fabio, but the rest of us will still be here.
we were acquired by Tech Raider. No, just kidding.
No, as I've posted on Twitter, we're having a break for a week because I'm making Silent Hills. It's fine. I'm allowed to say it. I am developing Silent Hills. Can you not tell?
By himself, by the way.
Yeah, see this mirror. This is the opposite of black and blue. and that means I am developing Silent Hills.
It's good to see that you are developing Silent Hill. I'm developing Scalebound.
Ah, there we go.
Oh man.
Yeah.
And Bob's making Metal Gear Solid. Yeah,
Right.
it's all good.
Metal Gear Solid Survival 2.
Yeah, so
No, it's Brutal Legend 2. Can't you tell from all the guitars?
Oh yeah.
I thought you're making Rocksmith 3. That's it. So
And I'm making the movies too. Did you guys know?
you met the Jinner happy.
Yeah.
But yeah, big thank you to everyone that's watching live, who's been chatting in the comments, even the new people that have shown the face day. Thank you very much for coming along. Big thank you to anyone who watches this on demand later. We really appreciate it. Big thank you to all you Spotify, Google Podcast, Anchor listeners. You guys are listening, you guys and girls, shall I say, are listening from all over the world. Honestly, we're getting them from France, Africa, all over. It's crazy that you guys and people out there are spending like 2 hours a week listening to us chat about games, talk absolute
2 hours, 2.5
shite.
hours.
Yeah, sometimes nearly 3 hours. But we really appreciate it. Like I say, we keep doing it because we enjoy it, and you guys seem to enjoy it because you keep coming back. If you've got any questions if you ever want to ask us any questions, you want us to answer anything, you want us to discuss anything, hit us up on Twitter, on Facebook, or hit us up on Xbox, and just fire it over to us. If you're someone interested in coming on as a podcast guest, fire away. We're always looking for cool people to come and join the conversation. We're friendly enough. We don't bite too much, so
we hope to be friendly enough.
Sensei says he's listening from the Matrix, so that's cool. We even get plugged in there. We're everywhere. We're growing. But that's it for this episode. We've kept it under 2 hours, which is fantastic. We're going to go play some games probably. Yeah, no, I think we've had slightly lower, but in modern podcast, under 2 hours is like a rarity. So
anyone down to play something after this?
We'll hope. Yeah. Bob's obviously not because he's off now, he said, and he's gutted every time.
Bob, God damn it, Bob.
We're only playing because we know you can't. That's all it is. Fabio's been planning this all along. She's secret games.
Sea of Thieves.
But like I say, we'll see you all next Saturday for some gameplay. We're going to be streaming Sea of Thieves through the week. I'm not exactly sure what days and times, but it will be up on Twitter and Facebook when we know.
Definitely Thursday.
Yeah, also, Sensei says Happy Father's Day for those. Yeah, it's Father's Day tomorrow. In the UK it is. I don't know about elsewhere, but in the UK it's Father's Day. So Happy Father's Day to all you gaming dads out there, normal dads as well. Enjoy it. Get your gaming in. Make sure you get your feet up, get your mug out, get your tea and stuff like that. Breakfast in bed, that's what I've requested.
Nice.
Ask for your Xbox Design Lab pads for your Father's Day gifts, all that sort of stuff. Make sure you all have it. And like I say, big thank you to everyone again. And we'll see you next week. And thank you for listening. And bye for now.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks so much, everybody.
Have a good one, everybody.
Bye.